I think it was when Yids had done his first injury at the start of the season, and then Felipe went in, Aruna went in. I was then cover for right back, and the gaffer's pulled me after training, and he's walking me across the pitch, and he goes, "All right, so you ready to play right back?"
Hello and welcome to Interview FC, and today I'm joined by Reading defender Tom Holmes. How you doing, mate?
I'm good, thanks. Very good, thanks. Thanks for having me.
No problem, man. I just wanted to apologise firstly for the trim. It's not looking that bad at the moment, but I've managed to get it under control. Yours is looking a bit better than mine. We've got similar curls, but yours is looking a lot better than mine.
Slightly longer. I haven't had a cut for a while, actually.
Yeah, I'm struggling to even go out in public at the moment. It's like that out of control. But talking of going out in public, going to the shops and whatnot, I know you made your debut a couple of years ago, but it's only sort of been in the last year or so that you've made your way properly into the first team. When you've been to the shops and that, have you had yet? That's Tom Holmes, the Reading defender. Have you had that yet?
To be fair, a couple of years ago, because everything was open, and we could go out at the weekend, say, go to a club, say in Reading, or go out to the shops. Yeah, for example, go to the shops. I did get recognised more then. I haven't actually had much interaction with fans or any whispers walking. I had it once at the co-op, but the guy was too embarrassed, I think, or too nervous to come up to me. But
you just had a little whisper.
I think if anyone did, they'd realise I'm just as much of a fan, really. So
yeah, we're getting on to that. What's it like? Well, actually, first of all, because you are a lifelong Reading fan, aren't you?
Yeah, massive.
Talk to me about some of your favourite memories as a fan, and also some of the players that you sort of looked up to when you were younger as well.
I'd say, to be fair, because I was thinking about during the day, what would be my favourite memories. And as a Reading fan, we've actually been quite lucky in that we've had a few good trips to Wembley, good playoff campaigns. But I'd say my earliest memory, and probably one of the best, is Graham Murty's penalty.
Yeah.
Against QPR to obviously achieve 106 points, and then when he ran over to celebrate with Kingsley, for me that stands out as being iconic for a Reading fan anyway. And then I think closer to that, more recently, probably a good memory would be the playoff semi-final against Fulham. That was pretty cool as well because I was a scholar at the time. It was 2016-17 season, so we were all there in our Reading tracksuits, and then obviously when we ran onto the pitch, it felt like we were we were involved. Obviously we didn't play, but it felt like we were all involved.
And what's it actually been like breaking into the first team this year? Because I know you were out on loan last year in Belgium, weren't you? Mm-hmm. Did you expect when you came back after that loan that you'd be so involved? Because I don't think many fans would. I know a few would have kept an eye on you during your time in Belgium and known about you, but Did you think you'd be thrown sort of straight in?
In all honesty, not as much. I didn't expect to play as much as I have done. That's not to say that I didn't think I was ready. It was more, as it is in football, it's more opportunity. I thought more opportunity. There might not be as many opportunities as there has been. But I've been quite fortunate with injuries and also the change in management. I think there's been quite a few things that have worked in my favour. But then also, if you look at the couple of years before that, there were things that didn't work in my favour. So I've been patient over the last couple of years. I think there was a stat. So when I came on against Derby in the first game of the season, the stat was it's been, I think it was 921 days since Tom Holmes has made a league appearance for Reading. And then when I saw that, it was quite not emotional, but it was right. I've done the hard work in those 921 days. I've had some experiences, some good experiences, some bad experiences with injuries. I've been away. I've come back now, and I think I just went into the season ready to make that step up. And I've been fortunate with injuries, but I think I've taken the opportunity, and I think the change in management, as I said a bit earlier, has really worked in my favour because they have shown good faith in the youth, and he loves his football, and all the people that he's brought in with him are so enthusiastic about football. It's like it's their life to them, and I think that really reflects in the way they manage, and also they try and get everyone on board with it. They try and get everyone pulling together, and there's an emphasis on the team, and for me, like I think it's done wonders for the squad. It's really pulled everyone in the right direction, and it's when you can see that your manager has that enthusiasm and that passionate side to him. That's just something. It's like something that everyone just gravitates towards and works towards, and I think it's been like a breath of fresh air.
Yeah, he seems like like you say, a proper passionate guy. When you see him on the sidelines and stuff, you can tell that comes across, and I imagine he's like that in the dressing room as well. You mentioned the backroom staff there. He obviously brought John O'Shea in, who would have still been playing when you were sort of growing up, wouldn't he? He was probably at like Sunderland or someone like that. You wouldn't have seen him at United, but what's it like having someone like that as well to sort of learn from, a defender and someone that's done it at the highest level?
Yeah, Shay's been really good as well, because obviously the manager and the like his second-hand men that he's brought in, they've spent more time focusing on the team and making sure that tactics are correct, and the whole team's like pulling their weight and doing things correctly. But if I wanted to go direct to someone, like after training, say, I wanted to discuss something defensively, I am able to go to Shady and get some time alone with him or out on the pitch, so I can work on my game. And those little moments have been invaluable, really, because as you say, he's played at the top, like right at the top. He's won Champions Leagues. He's seen it all. So when you put it into perspective, it's like, why? Sometimes I'm like, why would I not go and ask him or pick his brains sometimes about certain things in my game, and also he played fullback. He played fullback for United, and I don't think he wasn't naturally a right back. But so similar to me this season, I've had to be adaptable and play in a different position. So no, he was definitely a good sort of person to turn towards.
How much did you play right back before this season? Because you've been chucked in at the deep end, really. I mean,
yeah, never.
Really?
Yeah, honestly, I played every position growing up at Reading, like all of them. Striker, winger. You wouldn't think it winger, but back like when I was younger, I enjoyed the ball at my feet, and I played them all. But other than fullback. So when the manager asked me, he said, "Oh, can you play right back?" It was I think it was when Yids had done his first injury at the start of the season, and then Felipe went in, Aruna went in. I was then cover for right back, and the gaffer's pulled me after training, and he's walking me across the pitch, and he goes, "All right, so you ready to play right back?" And like, when he said it, my heart didn't drop, but it was going through my head that I've never actually played it. So
if it was an under-23s game or something like that, you could sort of get into the position a bit more, but chucking you straight in the deep end in a championship game, like there's not really much harder ways to ease into it. How do you feel like you've adapted? I
think I've been very pleased with how I've performed and how I've grown into the position. I think sometimes I get a bit caught up in trying to do too much at right back, trying to be an attacking outlet, when really I think what's worked for me and what's worked for the team is when I recognise what strengths and qualities I bring to that position, as in my defensive awareness, my heading ability, my positional awareness, my concentration, my enjoyment of defending. Those are the things I bring into that position. So it's more I had to recognise my strengths and not get caught up in the modern day fullback, where they're up, down, up, down. You watch Yids, for example. Yids, we're polar opposites at times in the way that we play the position. But that's not to say that the way I do it is worse than the way he does it. And I think that for me, that was, as soon as I recognised that, then I started to work out. And it all goes back to what I was saying earlier about the manager. He really emphasises the team and what everyone's roles are within the team. And when I was playing games and getting a run of games, it was because I was aware of what I need to do for the team in order for the team to be successful. So I'd say like that, and that's probably where I've come on the most this season is just learning how to survive and learning how to survive in the championship, and then giving me a foundation for myself personally to hopefully like excel in the next couple of seasons and hopefully cement a place in my natural position.
But I feel like you've got no excuse now, because you did say that you used to play as a striker and a winger when you were a bit younger, so I think we expect to see a bit more.
Yeah, it's a bit different though. It's a bit different in the champ.
I've wanted to know this for a while, because watching games and you see the likes of Michael Olise, Ovie Ejaria, Lucas João, and even the likes of Alf Semedo, Sonia Luco, they've got so many tricks, skills and things like that when they're playing. What's it like in training? Is it the same? Is it just like one big version of like Skill School or Showboat or something like that?
Yeah, it's what you see on match day is probably 10 times in training.
Have you been done a few times?
We're yeah, I don't really want to go into it. But what I'd say, we're very lucky with the quality and the talent in the team, 100%. Like, Ovie Ejaria is sort of like, honestly, sometimes people it's got to the point where if he's in a tight spot or there's 3 or 4 players around him, it's like if he doesn't get out of it, everyone's kind of like
disappointed,
throwing their arms up. Yeah, disappointed. It's like, come on, Ovie, because we've come to expect him to rig out or pull out a move that literally no one else in the team could do or possibly attempt to do. But no, we probably do take it for granted a bit, and I think against QPR, there was, especially Ovie,
he was on a mad one, wasn't he?
He was on a different level to most players on the pitch.
I don't want to prod too much, but have you been nutmegged quite a few times? Is that, I don't want to like sort of bring it up. No. Right, I'll just move on from that. I'll move on from that. I wanted to talk a bit about Michael Olise as well, because obviously he's so young and he's playing so well at this level. What's he like in training, and what's he like off the pitch as well?
Michael trains just how he plays. Like he loves football. He loves having the ball at his feet. I think sometimes he gets a bit harshly treated and in his attitude, and there's like some people will think he's got a bad attitude or he's not pulling his weight. But what I'd say about him is he's just extremely confident in his ability, and I think he does pull his weight. He does put a shift in, and then when he gets on the ball, he's got a pass in him. He hasn't just got the ability to take on a man. He's actually very forward thinking. He's forward thinking with his passing, and he offers us. Well, he's been phenomenal this season, and I personally think he's destined for the top, really.
So we're going to finish on a little game which I've told you about. I've tried to think of a name, but I've come up with opinion or celebration, which doesn't really work, but we're going to stick with it for now. If you can think of anything else, stick it in the comments and we'll try and come up with a better name. But you're going to give me 3 facts. I've given you a little bit of time to think about this. 2 of them are going to be real. 1 of them's fake. If I get one of the real ones, you get control of my Twitter and you can tweet a footballing opinion. So it could be something as simple as Tom Holmes is better than Tom McIntyre, or it could be Ronaldo's better than Messi, or it could be anything. I'll let you be creative with it. However, if I manage to work out what the fake one is, then I get to pick your first ever professional goal celebration. Is that right?
Yeah, that's cool. That's cool.
Even if it's in the winning goal in the 90th minute of the playoff final, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. All right, hit me with it then, mate.
All right. I've been racking my brains all day, to be fair. All right, first one. I can do over 1,500 keepy-ups with a tennis ball. Second one, I've never had a Chinese takeaway. Third one, when I was younger, Tim Della coached me playing cricket.
I'll tell you what, this is my thought. I'm not a massive fan of Chinese. I'm much more of an Indian man. I much prefer Chinese. I'm just thinking out loud here. I'm just thinking out loud. This is a tough one. You've done well here because the keepy uppies, I think, it's doable. Not for me. It's not doable for me. I'm not a bad player, but I don't think I could do that. No chance. But I feel like you could do that, especially spending time with Michael and Lucas and people like that. I feel like right.
Okay.
I'm gonna plump for. This Chinese takeaway, I think is real. I'll tell you what. By ruling out Chinese takeaway,
You're struggling.
I am struggling. You've done me. I'm going to rule out Chinese takeaway because I think that's real because it's just too random not to be real. And I'm going to narrow it down. Although I said that I think that the keepy uppy one is feasible, I just think that it might just be in there because it's less random. So I'm going to go the fake one is the keepy uppies with the tennis ball.
You're wrong.
Oh no, what was it?
Of course I've had a Chinese takeaway.
Oh, I just thought it was too random. Oh no.
That was the beauty of it.
You've done me good and proper there. Right, let's try and draft this tweet then. Right, what are you thinking? Are you going to go simple or...
What's your Twitter following? Do we have a big following?
I'd like to say it was... I'd like to say it was bigger than it is. I've got about 750 people on there at the moment.
I want it to be relatively controversial.
That's what I'm thinking. You could really screw me over. Because at the moment it's just gonna, because this is the first ever episode of this, nobody's gonna know what this is, so it's just gonna look so random.
Okay, yeah.
This is the first ever episode of this.
Yeah. So
This channel.
nobody knows
Okay,
what this
brilliant.
is, so this is
Yeah,
just
brilliant.
gonna look completely ridiculous.
I want to do something England related. I want you to say, I can't believe someone who's not English hasn't been called up.
To the England squad.
Oh god. Who are we thinking?
It's got to be relatively.
It's got to be realistic. What about
Realistic, yeah.
because I think Andy Robertson or someone like that's a bit too obvious. Do you know what I mean? Dan James.
He's got to have had a good season.
Yeah, true. Shots.
I don't think Dan James is watching this. Right, Haaland's dad is a Leeds fan. Am I right in saying that? Or...
He was born in Leeds, wasn't he, Haaland? Yeah.
Yeah.
You think him,
So I
though?
think maybe
You could go Haaland, yeah, but I want an explanation as to why you think Haaland should have been called up for the England national team.
So something like, I can't believe Erling Haaland hasn't been called up for the England team. Wasn't he born in Leeds?
Yeah. Born in Leeds. Wasn't he born in Leeds?
And banging the goals in for Dortmund or something like that.
Yeah. him and Kane up top would be unstoppable.
Oh
Something along
God.
those lines.
See, the thing is, I'm worried now because this is realistic. You've made this sound realistic.
It's I'm starting to believe that Haaland should have been selected.
See, the thing is, I mean, I was going to say I'm a well-respected journalist, but I don't think that is the case. But anyone that thinks that I know anything about football is just going to unfollow. I'm probably going to have about 200 followers by the time this goes out. Nobody's even going to see this episode. Right, I'll send that off. Tweet. That's just gone. Oh, right, well, that's not a great end to this. But I'll let you shoot off now, mate. Anyway, thanks so much for joining me.
That's all right. Thank you very much for having me.
No problem, man. And good luck for the rest of the season.
Cheers. Speak to you soon.
Speak to you soon, mate.